Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a quick video with tips on both hair and makeup for fitness shows. So obviously, as you know, you're under some very hot lights and you don't want your makeup to slide off. You want to make sure that it lasts very long, as well as the curls if you decide to curl your hair. If you do straighten it, it's a little bit less, I guess, to worry about. You would want to use a serum so that your hair doesn't get frizzy. I do live in Florida and there are a lot of competitors who do live in Florida, so not only do you have to worry about the competition itself, but getting there. It rains a lot and it is humid. So I can give you a few tips on how to save money by doing your own hair and makeup, and you can save $75 just by doing your own hair and makeup. So I'll start with hair. I like to curl my hair. I have very long hair and I have layers. So when I curl it, I just feel more put together. It's kind of like a beauty competition for, well, it's a physique competition, but it's also the overall package. So for women, they want to look more put together, you know, put your best foot forward. If you do straighten it, it's a little bit less, I guess, to worry about. You would want to use a serum so that your hair doesn't get frizzy. I do live in Florida and there are a lot of competitors who do live in Florida, so not only do you have to worry about the competition itself, but getting there. It rains a lot and it is humid. So I can give you a few tips on how to save money by doing your own hair and makeup. I think they charge somewhere around $75 to do that. So you can save $75 just by doing your own hair and makeup. And you can save $75 just by doing your own hair and makeup. So I'll start with hair. I like to curl my hair. I have very long hair and I have layers. So when I curl it, I just feel more put together. It's kind of like a beauty competition for, well, it's a physique competition, but it's also the overall package. So for women, they want to look more put together, you know, put your best foot forward. So starting with hair, what I like to use is, this is the best wand I found so far. This is by NuMe. This is, I think, 25 centimeters. They have a 32. I do have the 32, which is a lot larger. I find that the curls are really big, but they do not stay as well. So this one may look like it would make a smaller curl. However, when you take this out, your hair is gonna drop a little bit and then you have the perfect size curls. You can run your fingers through your hair or brush it even after it's cooled. You know, you don't wanna do it when it's still hot. But I'll tell you exactly what I do. I use Big Sexy Hair hairspray. Normally I would not, well, I've done this sometimes and sometimes I haven't, but if I'm curling my hair outside of competition, I never put product in my hair. I just curl it and it stays with that wand. For competition, I will hold this really far away and do a super light mist. And then that way when I'm curling it and the heat's applied, it holds the curl a little bit better. But one of my secrets, which I've noticed, I've been in many competitions and I may be one of the few girls whose hair stays in curls all the way through the day. Most of their hair will fall out right away, and what I think is the reason why it stays is I use that awesome wand, but I curl it, and then after my hair is done being curled, so let's just say I've got a curl, right? I drop it and then I quickly bring it back up and I use one of these clips. So I clip this to my head and then I literally show up like a crazy person. Well, I didn't do that right, but I literally show up like a crazy person with like these curlers all in my hair. At least that's what it looks like with these clips everywhere. And if you compete, you know, like, okay, it's 30 minutes to stage or it's 20 minutes to stage, and most people will eat like their simple sugar items or their rice cakes and peanut butter. Around that time when it's getting close to stage, that's when I'll take my hair out. Also, when my hair is still in the clips, I will mist this direct, like when I'm done doing my entire head, again over my hair when it's already clipped. So that for sure will make sure that you have amazing curls. If you take them out literally 2 minutes before stage, your hair is going to be like freaking high. So I usually like 20 to 30 minutes. They drop a little bit, the curls will, and then you can run your fingers through it. And I will insert a picture of what I look like with the little clips in my hair, and then also what my hair looked like after I took it out. Now you do have to keep in mind that you're going to be on stage and you're going to have a lot of bright lights, so your makeup is going to be washed out. So you don't want to use a heavy hand, but you want to put a little bit more than what would be natural, because you want them to see you. Now what I find is a really good idea is to, if you do your eyes super bold or you accentuate your eyes, then you don't want to go as crazy on the lips. So you don't want like a bright or a dark red lip and then like black eyes. Same as everyday life, like you don't want to look like a clown. You don't want to have nothing on your lips either, because you don't want them to look like they're concealer or like dead. But what I usually do is I accentuate my eyes, and then I will use like a light pink lipstick or something like that. So let's just go through just from like how you would do your makeup. So one thing that you definitely want, especially when you're under hot lights, is primer. Primer is what keeps your foundation on your face, and it keeps it from sliding off and breaking up. It stops the oil. It keeps you kind of matte. Now you do have to make sure that the type of primer that you're using is not going to have an issue with the foundation that you're using. So I would definitely test it out before doing it just the day of the show. And what I mean by that is, for example, I like to use the Baby Skin by Maybelline. This is a silicone-based primer, as are most. This has been compared to the Porefessional by Benefit. I actually like this one better. But there's some foundations that do not mix well with silicone-based. However, the one that I'm going to talk about is widely used for fitness competitors, because when I first got into it, I started just researching it, looking it up online, bodybuilding.com, reading forums. I went to MAC. I have a friend that works there. I asked her, hey, I know you do people's makeup for like everything. For the fitness girls, like what color do you use? What foundation do you use? So start with your primer. And then next is foundation. What I do, I use the Studio Fix Fluid from MAC. The color is NW45. I've been tanned with Pro Tan, Jantana, Liquid Sun Rays, and possibly Norvell. I can't remember. But I've used NW45 in Studio Fix Fluid every single time, and my face matches perfectly. It doesn't look muddy. It still has a glow to your skin. I know that the Revlon Color Stay is actually compared to the Studio Fix Fluid. I have used that as well. It does work pretty well, but it does not hold up as long as the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. And by that I mean, like, I did my makeup for the morning show, and then by the night show I just took all my makeup off and I redid it with the Revlon Color Stay. And I do have one of them. This one is Rich Ginger, but there's another one that's a shade darker than this. That's the one that matches your entire face. I will show you what I do with this. But one key thing that you can do, unless you're doing shows like year round, I do have a friend that works there, but I do purchase quite a few things from MAC. When you go in there, if you do not want to buy the full bottle of the Studio Fix Fluid, you can ask for a sample of NW45. So I get a sample of the NW45 Studio Fix liquid or fluid, and then I get the, it's a concealer. What the heck is this one? I will find out what it's called, and I'll just put it right below here. But this is actually, I think Candace Keen uses just the concealer, which is much thicker, like if you look, and she pats it into her face and blends it through her entire face. She doesn't even use a foundation. So that's an option. They're both the same color, but I will use this around, not under the eyes, but around where there's any blemishes. So So that's like the money color. It works. And then what I do with this is in Rich Ginger, which is in the combination oily version of this, because there's the normal. I like to do this like right under here, as if it were my under eye concealer, right here, down my nose, and then my chin. And it's still darker. It doesn't quite look like it right here, but it is darker, but it's a few shades lighter than the NW45. So it's kind of like adding like a liquid highlight to your face, and it's matte. One thing you do not want to do is wear a lot of shimmer and sparkle on your face. It can make you look oily, and it can reflect the light from those massive lights above you. And what I use to set my makeup, I like to use the Ben Nye Luxury Powder in Banana, and I use this directly under my eyes to set the under eye foundation that I use. You could use a concealer as well, but it does the same thing. It really binds it, and then I take a big fluffy brush and I powder lightly on my entire face. So that is like budge proof. This is also made for a studio type of makeup. And then two of my most favorite powders to use, and they're both from MAC. This one is an NW45, so you use the fluid in that, and then you're going to use the powder. And I really like, this seems like it's loose, it is. I really like to use this just to mattify my face maybe before going on stage, because you do pump up and you sweat, even just pumping up with like weights. So just to give yourself that finished look, just lightly dust it on so you're not cakey. And then if you notice you need to add a little bit of warmth to your skin, I like to use the Skin Finish Natural, and this is so old. This is in Sun Power. I was going to say, because the name is like gone on it. But there's Give Me Sun, and then this is the darker one that's called Sun Power. It's called Sun Power. And it is a little bit warm, as I said, so it's not going to be an ashier color. So between those two, I like to usually mix them, and it really completes my look. Now for eyes, I would highly, highly, highly recommend using matte shadows. Usually you want to stay away from too much color, even though I have seen people use color to match their suits or whatever. General rule, you usually want to stick with like browns, whites, and blacks. If you use grays or purples, they usually change color. They don't really look as vibrant or as deep. If you use shimmer on your eyes, the lights can distort your features. So usually shimmer is a no-no. If you're gonna do, sometimes I might put like a dab right here in my inner corner, like tiny, tiny dab, just to brighten me up, but it's not going to like reflect off of my entire lid. Some matte eyeshadow examples are, and this right here is something that I made. This is a MAC palette. This is obviously all browns. This is a great option. The black fell out and broke, but don't mind how dirty this is. All my palettes are kind of dirty. But this is a great option because it's all matte colors. Another great one is the Lorac Pro palette, the original one. This top row is all matte. The bottom row is shimmery, so I would stick to the top row, but there's a lot to work with. These deeper colors you can put in the crease. And then my favorite one that I go to a lot is the Kat Von D Monarch palette, and I love this. This has a few shimmery colors in it, but for the most part it's matte. I really like to use this color in the crease just to warm it up, and it kind of goes with the tan, and then I use these to darken everything up. This one right here is a nice matte yellowy white color, and that works out really great. Another thing I forgot to mention was the paint pots. If you use, my white one's gone now, but this one is the black ground one. So what I do is, before putting on my eyeshadow, I'll put a little bit of the white one on my lid, and then I'll put this one in the crease and I blend it so that there's a base there that really makes the colors of your shadows pop. And it also makes it last a lot longer without creasing. So that's pretty much that for your actual eyeshadow, and I have actually been thinking about doing a small tutorial for fitness makeup and actually like doing my face with the Oompa Loompa foundation and all. Let me know below if you'd like to see that. I think it'd be fun. I also wanted to talk about a couple lashes, or a couple sets of lashes that I think work really well on stage. These are both Red Cherry. My Ardell's I've used already. This is the Red Cherry number 43, and these ones are the WSPs. I don't know if that stands for wispy, but I also like the Ardell 105s. You want to add a little body to your lashes, but you do not want to be like drag. Like, so if your lashes are too big, the lights will actually cast a shadow onto your cheeks. I think I've made that mistake. Like when I first started competing, I made that mistake. So usually you want like a medium length lash that just makes your eyes look beautiful. I have a very light pink lip color, so on stage I want to put like a medium to a light pink that's deeper than my natural color, just to add some color to my lips, but not be too bold so where my eyes look freaking crazy. So one color that's really nice is called Plumful, and it's like, it's a plum color. It's like a really nice, but it's sheer. So it's sheer to buildable, but it's a really pretty color and I really like it. I usually mix that with this next color, which is Please Me. This is a matte and it stays pretty well. There. That's more of the color right there, because the top I probably mixed it with a different color. But I like to mix both of these colors together. And then a third color is actually from their Pro Longwear line, from Max Pro Longwear line. And I got it specifically just so that it would last a little bit longer. I find that the matte lipsticks last just as long though. And this one's called Positively Dashing. And it's very similar to Plumful, but it's a longer lasting formula and it's a different finish. And I really like that. It's kind of like a rosy plum color. It's not deep like a fall color, so it's really pretty. The picture that I posted with my hair in the little clippies, that I had Please Me on, and it looks a lot bolder because my skin's darker. Okay, so let's move on to blushes. My favorite blushes to use are also by MAC. No, I have to remember the names. I believe this one is Floor Power. I really enjoy this one because it adds like a punch of color, or sometimes I'll mix it in with this cool pink. I'm trying to get it to show up correctly. See, if I hold it back here, it looks more true to color. So that cool pink color, that is really pretty on darker skin. And then also this coral color here, this is actually from the Villains collection. It's called like Bite of an Apple or something, so that one's limited edition, unfortunately. I will put the name of the pink one below, the cool pink color, because I cannot remember what it's called. And then for contour, I actually use MAC Blunt, and I did not bring it, but it's like a very ashy dark brown color. But it works so well as a contour on darker skin. And then to finish it all up, I use the Ben Nye Final Seal Matte Makeup Sealer. So this, I have a small spray bottle of the Urban Decay All Night Setting Spray, and I finished it, like the little 1.4 ounce thing, and it has such a fine mist to it that I pour this in there and use it pretty much as like a MAC Fix Plus. I feel like this has more of a sealant to it though, so your makeup really stays in place. So guys, I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, please comment below. Yeah, so I guess that's it. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.